Ready? Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Chaska City Council meeting for Monday, August 3rd, 2020. We're at the Chaska Event Center tonight. We'll call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Will you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. We have no Nate tonight, so Matt, you want to call roll?
Councilmember Hatfield?
Here.
Hubbard?
Here.
Grau?
Here.
Long?
Aye.
Mayor Winchell?
Aye. Moves us to item number 4, adopting the agenda. If there are no corrections or additions, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Wong.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Hatfield. Discussion. Hearing none. I'm making my graph that I need to keep track of everyone, sorry. Councilmember Hatfield.
Yes.
Councilmember Wong.
Aye.
Councilmember Hubbard.
Yes.
Councilmember Grau. Yes. Councilmember Mayor Winchell, aye. 5-0. Moves us to visitor presentation, and I see no one here, so I assume that means no one's going to be standing up. With that, I'll move to approving previous meeting. Oh, thank you. No one's on the call? Okay, sorry, I forgot about that. That moves us to approving previous meeting minutes. Discussion again, if not, no corrections, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Moved.
Motion by Councilmember Hatfield.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Grau. Discussion. Hearing none. Councilmember Wong.
Aye.
Councilmember Hubbard.
Aye.
Councilmember Grau.
Aye.
Councilmember Hatfield.
Yes.
Mayor Winchell, aye. Passes 5-0. Moves us to item number 7, consent agenda items. Again, these are items that need our approval, but not necessarily a conversation, but one can if necessary. With that, again, if there are no corrections, additions, discussions, I'd entertain a motion for consent.
Moved.
Hubbard. Second by Councilmember Hatfield to approve consent. Discussion? On Councilmember?
Yes.
Councilmember Hatfield.
Yes.
Councilmember Wong.
Aye.
Mayor Winchell, yes. 5-0 passes. Moves us to item number 8, action item, adopt resolution 2020-61, 2020-62, and 2020-63, and that's the issues and sales of bonds.
Mayor and council member, tonight we have a series of bonds that we're bringing back to you. These are ones that represent a number of different portions of projects that we're doing now, including our 2020 street reconstruction program, the utility portion of that program for reconstruction of the road. We have 3 refunding bonds that we sold, and then we have one that's under the EDA that we can talk about now, but we will have to have an EDA meeting to actually approve it. I'm going to turn it over to Noel on this one, who will be able to share with you the absolutely unbelievable results that we got in the sale today of bonds. So turn it over to Noel.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. Before you tonight are 3 resolutions confirming the public sale of bonds for which we took bids today in a competitive sale. The sale today was very successful. As Matt indicated, the first series, which is our 2020C, represents new financing for the downtown street reconstruction project for 2020. Series 2020D is a refunding bond. This refunds 2 previously issued bonds on an advanced refunding basis and a third series on a current refunding. This second bond was done as a taxable bond because we can no longer do advanced refundings on a tax exempt basis because of federal regulations. The 2017 tax code removed that option for us. So we looked at doing all 3 as a refunding on a taxable basis, and the savings we obtained today were very successful using the taxable route instead of the tax exempt route. The third series before the city tonight is Series 2020E. This is also a refunding bond. This is on a tax exempt basis. This is refunding bonds at that were outstanding from 2013 for the community center improvements that were done to reconstruct the ice arena back in 2013. So all 3 of these bonds were sold competitively today, and we had very successful results. As a result, we saw significantly lower interest rates than anticipated, and we saw significant present value savings on the refundings beyond what we originally anticipated. So with us tonight is Anton Voinov with Baker Tilly, and he is going to review the bid results for all 3 bonds and the results of sale and review the winning bidder on each of the 3. After that, we'll have you consider for consideration adoption of the 3 resolutions tonight, and then we'll reconvene as the EDA board tonight to affirm the sale of that third series, because what the city is doing tonight is asking the EDA to approve and issue that refunding bond, since that bond will be in the name of the EDA.
That's the 2020E one only. So this is kind of like refinancing, right?
Very true.
Okay.
We are not extending the debt. We are not doing anything to change the terms of the bonds. We are doing this solely to reduce future interest costs by capturing the low rates that are in the market today. So I will let Anton, he is on the Zoom presentation here, review the results of the sale today.
Based on your comment about the refinancing. So with the refinancing, you might still, like, say it's a 30-year, you're still going to push it out 30 more years. But what you just said is we're just saving on the interest, but we're not extending the term. So it's kind of like a refinance in the fact that you're not taking 30 more years or whatever it was. Okay.
Because, most of these bonds had about 12 to 13 years remaining. And so we are still financing them over that remaining original term. We are not extending it. If we were extending it, that would be a different type of refunding, and we'd have to actually go through some additional qualifications to extend the debt.
Good clarification.
Okay. Anton.
Thank you, Noel, and good evening to everyone. I'll try to keep the remarks brief and echoing what Matt and Noel have already shared. I'd like to congratulate the city on 3 very successful winning bids received today on the city's Series 2020 C, D, and E bonds. Just going through the 3 in order, 2020 C received 3 bids, with the low bid coming from Morgan Stanley at a true interest cost of 1.138%. Just a couple of points of reference on that one. We estimated about a month ago in early July a rate of 1.6 on these bonds, so an improvement of about 0.5%, 50 basis points, just as a function of current market. And also as another point of reference, in November 2019, the city sold tax-exempt general obligation bonds, same credit, similar structure, actually a slightly shorter average maturity, at a true interest cost of 2.08. So basically a full percentage point improvement from less than a year ago. The 2020 Ds, as Noel had mentioned, that was a taxable refunding series. 5 bids were received on that offering, with Piper Sandler coming in as the winner at a true interest cost of 1.12. Again, 112%. Our early July market estimate for that series was at just a touch over 2%. In the same sale in November 2019, the city also sold taxable general obligation bonds with a slightly longer average maturity, and that sold at an interest rate of 2.9%. So again, and in this case, nearly 2 full percentage points of improvement, about 2.8% compared to a few months ago. Another point to note here, the 2020D bonds that are taxable, taxable debt typically trades at a premium to tax-exempt bonds. In this case, same average maturity, sold at a 112 versus a 113, so about 1 basis point lower than the tax-exempt. I'll have to admit, I have never seen that result ever so far. It just speaks to the strength of the credit and the strength of the municipal market right now. And finally, the 2020Es, which we can talk about again a little bit later in the second meeting. But 2 bids received on those. Low bid from R.W. Baird at a 147, compared to a early July estimate of a 186. So half a percentage, approximately 40 basis points of improvement there. One last point to mention, as Noel had alluded to, the last 2 series, the 2020Ds and Es were both issued for refunding purposes to refinance existing city debt. So the 2020Ds, the strong bid that was received translates into about $1.4 million in present value savings for the city. And on the EDA bonds, translates into about $370,000 on a present value basis. So in aggregate, we're looking at savings of nearly $1.8 million on the combined sales today. The bonds received ratings of AA on the general obligation bonds and a AA minus on the EDA lease revenue bonds. S&P affirmed both ratings and also kept the negative outlook that was received in the last trip to Standard & Poor's about 2 months ago. S&P cites very strong economy, strong management, strong budgetary flexibility, very strong liquidity, and a strong institutional framework score of the city as all positive credit factors, which are offset by some weakness in the budget and weak debt and contingent liability position, as well as a weakness in the fund balance at coming in at 11% of budget last year. So that concludes my planned remarks, but I'm happy to answer any questions that folks may have about the sale or the market or anything else that may be on your mind.
A couple of things for council. First of all, the estimate or the savings we're seeing is about $1.8 million. The estimate we had at the beginning was maybe about $1 million. So we ended up about over $700,000 better in savings, which is fantastic. And then the second thing to point out, and we've talked about this before, but we talked about the negative outlook for S&P for the fund balance reserve. That's something that we're going to be talking about during the general fund budget process this year, and how to develop a policy to start building it up. Now, obviously, we've had different liquidity positions than most cities because we have a lot of enterprise funds like the electric and stuff, but it makes a difference in these types of markets, as we can see from the results, that we're keeping on top of responding to those remarks that they come, so that we can continue to get this type of credit rating and see these types of results. So that'll be future planning that we need to incorporate into what we're doing.
Anton, what was the rate for the 2020E again? I missed it.
The 2020Es, the winning TIC was a 147.
And our estimate was 1.8?
186, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else have questions for Anton or
The last time we were here talking about bonds, you had talked about the 3%. It has to be like 3%, correct? In order to do like kind of a reissuing.
The 3% you're referring to is when we do this crossover refunding, we have to have a threshold of at least 3% per state statute in order to use that type of advance refunding. So both of these series, not an issue. We're well over that.
I just was wondering, okay, it was the same sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just more of a like,
They're saying that they're trying to stop you from going out and spending a lot of money for not really seeing enough savings.
Okay.
I mean, obviously there's issuance costs and everything that go with this.
This was curious. That's all. Sorry.
'cause how did we make, you were talking a 3%?
Yeah, like last time we talked about this a few weeks ago, he talked about it has to meet at least 3% to meet the criteria to do. And so I just was making sure that this kind of falls into the same umbrella.
Referring to is not the interest rate, but what the present value savings are on the refunding.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
so,
hey,
right.
3%
No.
on the interest.
No, like a 3%. Yeah.
Okay,
No, I'm sorry.
Series 2020D, which includes the two advance refundings, we're seeing an 11.92% present value savings, which is well in excess of the 3%.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nope, I just I figured it was falling under the same deal.
I just commend the department and everyone who involved in this process to look for ways, and obviously we've talked budgets the last few meetings, look for ways to continue to make smart financing decisions and looking for to save some money and almost double. I'll say almost double. I can say that 1 million to 1.8 million is pretty amazing. So that's appreciated. It's being good stewardship of our taxpayers' money too.
I was very pleased that in the 2020D series, we were able to include the current refunding, which was a very small refunding, but it would not have stood alone. But by bundling with the other two, we were able to also capture those savings. So this has been a very interesting sale to put together. And we've been very fortunate to be in a very receptive market to obtain these rates.
Right. Thank you. Any other questions here? All right. With that, then, if there are no further discussions, we would be looking at, I just want to, Chad, before you leave, thank you for always being around, making sure that we run efficiently. You always seem to be here at the right time when somebody's having grief, and between, well, you mostly, but Kevin, if he can't figure it out, you always seem to be like, I don't know if you're just wandering around or we just happen to be fortunate that you're always close by. But thank you
That's a bat signal.
for always getting us through these crazy times here. So go home, take the night off. Sorry, but I wanted to catch Chad before he left. So with that, we would need to entertain 3 motions. So I would start with adopting resolution 2020-61 in the amount of $2,940,000 in general and GOBs. So I would entertain a motion to start with that one.
Motion to adopt resolution 2020-61.
So I got Councilmember Hatfield makes the motion, second by Councilmember Gra to again adopt resolution 2020-61, issuing bonds and $2,940,000 in GO bonds. Discussion. Hearing none. Councilmember McGraw.
Yes.
Councilmember Hatfield.
Yes.
Councilmember Wong.
Aye.
Councilmember Hubbard.
Yes.
Mayor Winchell, aye. Passes 5-0. Now I look to adopt resolution 2020-62, again authorizing GO bond, refunding bonds, 2020D in amount of $10,425,000.
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Wong,
Second.
second by Councilmember Hubbard, was that? Hubbard. Okay, discussion. Hearing none. Councilmember Hatfield.
Yes.
Councilmember Wong.
Aye.
Councilmember Hubbard.
Aye.
Councilmember McGraw.
Yes.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Now we're gonna motion to adopt resolution 2020-63. Again, we are doing, this is called Limited Tax Refunding Bond Series 2020E in the amount of $2,310,000. And again, if there is no discussion, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Hubbard,
Second.
second by Councilmember Wong. Again, adopting 2020-63, and these are limited tax refunding bond series 2020E for $2,010,000. Discussion. Hearing none. Councilmember Wong.
Aye.
Councilmember Hubbard.
Aye.
Councilmember McGraw.
Aye.
Councilmember Hatfield.
Yes.
Mayor Winchell, aye. Passes 5-0. All right, that completes that action item. And again, just to talk about doing what we're doing here, it's a 1.8 million in savings. So it's a very, very substantial savings. So I want to thank Noel for keeping an eye on being able to do things like this. Like you said, it was a kind of a tricky sale to put together. And Anton, thank you for your efforts as well to make this happen for us. So thank you all very much for your efforts.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, that is it on our action items. That moves us into item number 9, bills.
Have questions?
Questions?
Big surprise, I know. Okay, so page 4 on the item for Carver County. I'm not sure how to, was it? So Carver County Health Plan and WTR, like, I'm not sure if it's water or something. There's this East Creek Crossing. What is this one exactly?
East Creek Cross, okay, which,
Public health.
Public health. It's like public health and plan or water or something. It's really kind of, it's,
so that's the permit that we get from the planning watershed district for our crossing that we're going across East Creek for a project this summer.
okay. Okay, got it. Page 7, there's one that's from Dave Berg for territory acquisition.
This is in relation to, we're currently analyzing the potential of looking at how we can repurchase some of the electric territory that's not in the city of Chaska's territory. He's a financial analyst that's helping us do the financial model for that.
Uh-huh. So repurchase the electric territory that's not in our territory. What does that mean exactly?
That means everything in Southwest Chaska is not in Chaska's electric territory. Everything on the west side of 212 and south of Engler is not in our electric territory. That's in Minnesota Valley's electric territory. And because of that, all the growth that we have out there, we're not going to be able to capture electric revenue off of. And so we're looking at analyzing whether it makes sense to try to purchase that from Minnesota Valley.
Okay, so this is basically helping us to make that determination. Does it make sense to go after it? And if it does this a financial benefit, then because of the revenue and so forth, then we should or shouldn't do it.
And we're in essence doing a cost benefit analysis to determine whether we should bring this back to you guys to consider whether or not we should go after that.
Sounds good. Cool. Page 10. There's one for JT Services of Minnesota. Looks like there's some light fixtures. What was that for? There's 23 footers.
Let's see here.
If I'm reading that right.
What was it? Which one?
The downtown.
This is on page 10, JT Services of Minnesota. It looks like some light stands or light fixtures, like 23-foot ones.
Yeah, these are for our downtown street reconstruction program. So this is an inventory for new street lights.
They look nice.
Cool. Page 14. There's one for Formacode, and this one's caught my attention because it's Minnesota Department of Employment. So is this one just a pass-through for us?
Yep. They ended up receiving a grant through the Minnesota Investment Fund, and all those grants, we end up having to apply for them, and we end up being the conduit to actually provide that grant and then make sure that they're following what they said they're going to do for job creation.
Okay. So we're the governance agency in that regard to hold them accountable.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And then the last one is on pages 14 and 19. On page 14, there's an item for next level for doing cabling and from the community center. And then on page 19, there's Rob's Electric also doing cabling and wiring for the community center. And so the question is that it's, I understand that, it looks like next level is doing low voltage stuff. Why wouldn't we have just the electrician do both at the same time rather than splitting it between two vendors?
So Rob's Electric doesn't do the low voltage stuff. So this has to do with our movement of our exercise equipment into the gym area. In order to be able to have not only electricity for the equipment to be able to run, but also cable service to be able to have the TVs be able to run. We needed to have both electric and low voltage go in there. And keep in mind, these are all reimbursable through our stimulus dollars.
And so basically the short answer is that Rob's, as an electrical contractor, doesn't do low voltage. So if we wanted to run Cat 5 while they were doing it, even though they're going to be like 3 inches apart, they're not going to touch it. Okay.
And isn't that Nextel, isn't that underground work or not?
I don't think this was. I think this has to do with the low voltage that we put in for the community center. I could be wrong. I don't know if you know anything else it'd be.
You're right, low voltage has to be done separate from the electrical. It's a licensing requirement. I'm not sure on this project, but there are different licenses to do the different types of work.
Right, because low voltage can't do electrical. So you have to have a licensed electrician to do that, to do all of those wiring. Anything you do in a commercial building has to have a licensed electrical to do any work in it.
Yeah, so I assume that based on the requirements, it sounds like there's not like electricians who are licensed in both.
Well, electricians probably could do it, but a lot of them won't. It's sort of a pain in the butt for them because it's not something that they do.
Okay.
Even though it's called wiring, it's different wiring.
Yeah. I mean, I did the low voltage stuff, so yeah, I was thinking like, what's so hard for an electrician to do this? But yeah, got it. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Anyone else? And I forgot to mention, Mike is Zooming tonight for some health reasons, so he is not with us live. But I think so. With that, anyone else have any questions on bills? Hearing nothing, I would entertain a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Wong,
Second.
second by Councilmember Hatfield to pay the bills. Discussion. Councilmember Hubbard,
Yeah.
Councilmember Grau,
Yes.
Councilmember Hatfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Wong,
Aye.
Mayor Woodshuttle, yes. Passes 5-0. All right, that moves us into other business. Let's start with the man behind the screen out there, Councilmember Wong.
Only really short tonight. Only thing I've got coming up is that 19 night on October 6th. I know there's planning for that. So I know that, neighborhoods are starting to plan and, we're starting to talk about it. So we'll see how everything works out given the current situation. It doesn't look like it's going to change drastically between now and then. But I think it would be good to, hopefully have something happen in some way, shape, or form. So hopefully, but that's the date that's currently penciled in since it was postponed from August. That's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Grau.
I was just gonna say that they're making some good progress on the County Road Big Woods Boulevard. I drive by that every day and it looks like blacktop went down today. I think the neighborhood's getting pretty excited for that to kind of all get done. I'm actually, for me personally, I'm most excited to see the landscaping that happened on the other side because we haven't seen that now since the road was closed. But, I think, again, testimony to the groups that we work with and the contractors we work with, they've run a good ship over there. I mean, I think it was 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I could still hear them out there working. So they're meeting deadlines and trying to get things done. So, we're definitely excited about that. Only other thing that I think that's relevant to kind of put out there and ask the public for is, with the governor's announcement with kind of what the threshold and data are for schools and kind of basing it on the data, to keep in mind that, large events or attending large events or not complying with some of the things that helps stop the spread of COVID may directly impact, what everyone kind of wants their kid potentially to get back into school full time. Depends on where you're at with that, but that will have an impact. So, there's been a lot of conversations in particular that, be mindful of that because since we're using some of that as the data driven pieces.
Cases per 10,000, I believe, right?
So,
there's 3 counties, we were just talking about this today, there's 3 counties that are over the 50 per 10,000. And you'd think they'd be metro area counties, but they're actually outstate counties on the border that it's directly related back to a large musical event that they had. And consequence of that is that they won't be able to start school with any kind of things but distance learning.
And I think that's, that was kind of the point now. Eastern Carver County and Carver County is, I think, interesting in position now because it's kind of right on the borderline of the threshold of kind of the 2 different tiers that it could be. And, I think a couple of weeks to the schools will kind of announce officially what they're doing. But I think that's a good reminder because, your actions as an individual citizen could directly impact schools at this point.
So thought of it that way. That's a good point. We, Matt and I met with the new superintendent this morning. Just had a little conversation and get to know her and her to know us a little better. And then Thursday, we're meeting as a group, and I assume they're going to kind of lay out some of their plans to us, right? Is that what you're assuming out of that? So the school says that they've got 3 different plans all in place, just depending when they have to pull the trigger, so they're ready to go. So,
yeah, I mean, personally, I've come to the conclusion as a parent that we'll probably see all 3 of those plans sometime this year. It might be possible. So, yeah.
One thing she did say is that there's probably a good chance that, and it may not be across the district, but you're going to see something happen in some place within the district that's going to require different scenarios to have to be brought into play, depending on circumstances.
Yeah, that's all I have. Just like I said, it's a good kind of reminder that, our individual actions and decisions have greater impacts to the community at large. And that's all I have.
okay, thank you. Councilmember Hubbard.
Kind of correlating to his piece or about the COVID and the with the mandate, the governor had they had issued face masks for distribution to local area businesses. I don't know who's distributing them here in Chaska. Is it the Southwest Chamber? Yeah. So my business picked up 2 boxes. And so my shout out would be to other businesses, if they're listening, that there is an opportunity to pick up some free paper face masks, depending on the supplies that are left through the Southwest Metro Chamber, if they so need them. So, and then Carver County elected leaders meeting. Wow, it was a mouthful. We had our meeting last Thursday. Just got an update from Richard Scott in regards to COVID. I mean, little things changed, but as far as from prior presentations and everything like that, that generally very in the know. I'm sure we've all watched the news, local numbers and things like that. So, Steiner Kelting meeting that was supposed to happen. That's one of my subcommittee things too, but they canceled that meeting. So next month. And that's like what I have.
There was an elected leaders.
There was.
At least Ryan was asking Mayor Johnson and I, and neither one of us had anything on our calendars for it. So
there wasn't
I'm
much.
glad you were there.
I was there. We're going to talk about affordable housing next time. So
All right.
it was great.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, Councilmember Hatfield.
Just a couple of things. Downtown Chaska is doing something fun with some I Spy activities, I guess. So just around downtown Chaska, there's little circles that have the different logos, the Play Chaska, Shop Chaska, Visit Chaska, Love Chaska. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them. And so right now they're doing, if you take a picture with one, you can tag I Spy Downtown Chaska for a chance to win a $25 gift card to one of the downtown area Chaska businesses. And I think there's a lot of them, so there's a pretty good chance to win those. So go find those. They're all over, I think.
I wonder what that was.
We're gonna all lay down in the sidewalk after we're all done.
Oh, there's one outside here.
Yeah.
The Play Chaska one.
Oh, we gave one away.
Sidewalk?
One's in
Yeah, they're on the
sidewalk.
sidewalk. And
Over by
the
the
work.
entrance
Oh, so
concession stand.
you-
They look like that.
Tell them where they all are.
I don't think they're listed. You're supposed to go find them.
Have to like do a selfie with it.
Yes, there's one outside of city. So they say things like Shop Chaska, Visit Chaska, Eat Chaska. So I would imagine they'd be outside of the places you could shop or eat or play. What's happening?
It was blowing up over there.
Anyway.
I'm not that popular, so
It was going wild.
like a casino in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the one thing I want to share. There are 10 to find.
Oh,
So
awesome.
gotta catch them all. They're like Pokemon. And then I had a chance to finally get to the farmer's market, and there was lots of great produce and flowers and stuff going on. I think like most people were wearing masks, so that was really awesome. We're outside, still great to do. So love that that's still happening, and they had a lot of precautions. And the last thing I have is just to remember to vote in the primary. Every vote counts. That's coming up on August 11th. And that's all I had.
Joel,
I'm good, thank you.
Kevin, Luke.
One thing I'd probably say is that we've mentioned it many times before that if you haven't done your census, get it in because that means a lot.
Yeah.
Makes significant amounts of money can be determined what we get just based upon whether we got everybody accounted for.
We could lose a legislator out of this, possibly.
Yeah.
I think we're going to start door knocking. this
Yeah,
week.
I just saw that they're gonna go door knocking. That probably is not gonna go over real well, but I get it. They gotta do it.
It's only if you haven't responded.
Yeah, if you haven't responded, then the census takers will go out to take the census.
I'm at risk. Let's just
Yeah.
submit and
Yeah,
do it.
It literally takes a minute online. It's so fast.
yeah, it did not take long at all. I mean, just do it, be done.
From my
Yep.
perspective.
I agree.
Yeah, good point. Thanks, Luke. Anything else? Matt?
Only thing I have is I will be out next week on vacation. If you need anything, call Nate.
Lucky. Said lucky.
And why he said that, I am gone all next week as well. And
Actually,
I'm
I'm
not-
as well
I'm
too.
not going with him though. But
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
that-
going to be on vacation, and I won't be with either one of those guys.
You're on vacation too?
Yep.
Michaela, Taylor, John, so with me.
I don't know. Are we gonna be able to hold it down from there to then?
I'm on furlough, so I'll be here all around. You can bug me all you want. Next week, just 1 week.
All right.
It'll work. No, it's kidding.
Is that it, Matt? Okay, just a couple things. For anyone that doesn't know, Highway 41 south of 169 is closed, so you can't get on 169. I don't know how long that's going to be.
Northbound though. I think
Yeah,
you can
you can go
you can still
southbound.
go,
Oh, you can go south, just not
just
north.
can't go northbound.
Okay,
Already
Can't get
south.
Yeah,
Or like if
you can't get
or
back.
You can,
yeah.
you can just not turn left.
Yeah,
At that
can't turn
point.
So,
left.
yeah, anyways, they're getting the next phase of that done, but you can't go 41 south to northbound 169. Matt, I see that speed sign on 41 bridge is missing, and I saw last time it was kind of in the air, so it must be out for repair. Is that what's going on?
It's in the grass.
Yeah,
It's in the
No.
grass.
That's this one. I'm
Oh,
the one on the bridge.
I'll ask a question. I don't know.
And then do we somehow, can we expedite this one that got in a car accident here last week?
I'll check on those.
Because I know they do work, they slow me down. So I gotta believe if they're doing it to many, so I hope we can get those back as soon as we can.
lock my bike.
Because I think they definitely work. I mentioned the schools already. There's still 1 week and 1 day left filing for city positions. We have the mayor's position is up this year. And then wards 2 and wards 4. So I don't know if I don't know who's filed or who hasn't filed at this point, but
Got 3 people that have filed. And there are 3 people that are sitting here now.
so, all right, well, that's, at least we got people filing, that's important. So, thanks everyone that's done it. That closes next Tuesday, and like Councilmember Hatfield said, that is a primary important one for us. We're looking at a state senator and a county commissioner. I looked at the sample ballot today, so I gotta go vote tomorrow because I'm gone. Matt, make sure you get down there if you haven't before you leave town. Those are important votes for us as well, so. We have a short EDA meeting really to talk about the bonds that we've already talked about. So we're gonna have that immediately following. Next meetings are, we have one on the 17th. And then, as of right now on the 31st, because it's a 5th Monday, right now it's a work session. Never know, it could change, but so that's our schedule. And then we move into September, and the first Monday is Labor Day. So our schedule is the 14th and the 21st will be our council meetings in September. So just to know that there's a little change of schedule when there's Monday holidays. So, all right, last call. If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn and move into our EDA meeting.
Adjourn.
Motion by Councilmember Hatfield,
Second.
second by Councilmember Grad to adjourn. So then I have Councilmember Grad,
Yes.
Councilmember Hatfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Wong,
Aye.
Councilmember Hatfield,
Yes again?
Hubbard, the other H.
Yes.
What'd you say?
Yes.
I'm looking for Hubbard.
I've said yes.
Oh. These masks, I can't tell who's talking. Mayor Woodshuttle, aye. We are adjourned 5-0. Kevin, how much time do we need, or can we go right in?
Will you stay on the line?
Stay on there, Mike. Yes, yes. All right, with that, we'll call the EDA meeting to order at 7:45. We'll take roll. Nate or Matt, do you want to call it, or do you want me to?
Commissioner Hatfield? Here. Hubbard?
Here.
Groff? Here. Wong?
Aye.
And President Winchell.
Here. Moves us to item number 3, adopting the agenda. Corrections or additions to the agenda? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wong.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hatfield. Discussion. Hearing none. Commissioner Hatfield.
Yes.
Commissioner Wong. Commissioner Hubbard.
Yeah.
Commissioner Gra.
Yes.
And President Woodshuttle, aye. Passes 5-0. Moves us to item number 4, approving previous meeting minutes. Again, if there are no corrections or additions, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield,
Second.
second by Commissioner Wong. Discussion. Hearing none. Commissioner Wong.
Aye.
Commissioner Hubbard.
Aye.
Commissioner Gra.
Aye.
Commissioner Hatfield.
Yes.
And President Winchell, aye. Passes 5-0. Moves us on to item 5, which is discussion, adopt resolution EDA 2020-8, issuance and sale of Chaska EDA bond series 2020E, and that would be for $2,310,000 under limited tax refunding bond.
President Commissioners, this is one that we already addressed in the city council meeting, as a city council has to authorize this, but this is same results as what we saw in the council meeting for the EDA refunding. Noel, if you want to just maybe give a summary recap of the interest rate and savings.
Series 2020E is a refunding bond that refunds the 2013 lease bonds that the EDA issued. These were the project bonds that financed the ice arena improvements at the Chaska Community Center. We anticipated a interest rate of 1.86. When we sold these today, they actually sold at 1.471. So we saw about a 39 basis point drop from what we saw previously. We did generate about $368,000 or 11.3% in present value savings on this refunding. With us tonight is Anton Voitov with Baker Tilly, and he is going to review the bids that came in for this particular issue.
Thank you, Noel. Just jumping right in, and we'll go through this very quickly. Good evening, everyone, and again, congratulations to the city and the authority for a very strong result today. The 2020Es received 2 bids. As Noel mentioned, R.W. Baird was the low bid at a 147. Our cover securities at a 156, so only about 9 basis points apart. And the resulting bid was for the refunding translated into present value savings of nearly $370,000 or 11.3% of refunded debt service. It's actually on a future value or on a cash basis, it's about $400,000 in savings. So good result overall.
Any questions for Anton? Like I said, for anyone watching at home, we've already kind of gone through this in the council meeting, and that's really asking to move it to the EDA, and now we are actually approving that sale for $2,310,000 on 2020E limited tax refunding bond, so. Any other discussion? I would entertain a motion then to adopt resolution 2020-8 and issue and sale of Chaska EDA bond series 2020E for $2,310,000.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hubbard,
Second.
second by Commissioner Hatfield. Discussion? Again, thank you, Anton, Noel, for doing this. And it's quite a savings and quite an interest rate that we got here. It's good and bad. It's good for us, but overall, for the general economy, it's probably not the best for, but, you know, I guess we got to do what we got to do.
Investors, good for everybody else.
What's that?
Not good for investors, good for everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, we had a motion and a second, so no, any other discussion up here? Nothing? All right, Councilmember Hubbard,
Yes.
Commissioner Gra,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatfield, Commissioner Wong,
Aye.
and President Windshuttle, aye. All right, passes 5-0, and that moves us into other business. Anyone have anything? Anyone? All right, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield,
Second.
second by Commissioner Wong. Discussion. Hearing none. Commissioner Gra,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Wong, Commissioner Hubbard,
Yeah.
President Windshuttle, aye. Passes 5-0. We are adjourned. We will see you on a couple weeks. Forgot the date already. All right. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Thanks, Anton.
On
Have a
hold
good
for a
night.
while or something.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.